Peace, family. This is Conscious of Crazy. Peace being positive energy activates constant elevation. This is Conscious said of Conscious of Crazy. Con science. Am I, with knowledge, or am I crazy? Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Am I, am I loco? But no, not loco over here, family. But once again, had to bring, the energy, and had to bring this queen back again. The goddess, for the people once again. Reintroduce yourself for the people, and the background a little bit again for the people, so they definitely know who you are.
Absolutely. I am Camille Janelle. I am a world changer. I consider myself changing moments and worlds one moment at a time, one truth at a time, one moment at a time. I am changing the world, and I decided to start with mine. And I do that right now through the basis of understanding and really allowing ourselves to tap into the space of cosmic sexuality. I am a growing cosmic sexuality doula, among many things. I'm an actress, I'm a dancer, but I realized the main space that we need to really dive into so that we can have more loving connections with ourselves, our partners, and the world is to understand our sexuality here on Earth.
Yeah. So for the people, so what's the purpose and what's the duties of a doula?
That's a great question. So every doula defines what they do as a doula different. On the general spectrum, a doula is someone that supports and advocates for your transition into something. Most people know the doula is connected to birth. You are transitioning into motherhood. You usually need someone to advocate for what you feel, advocate for what you want, advocate for your health, advocate for the baby's health. Is someone that is advocating for all parts of you as you transition. For me, I define a doula is someone that I'll be a doula that will help someone to rebirth their self, whether they're having a baby, because your world is changing. That means you're rebirthing yourself as you birth a baby. It could be someone that's trying to rebirth their creativity in their selves. They wanna evolve into something new in their world. I will be someone that can assist with that, but I'll do it through the lens of the cosmic sexuality space and get to the root of your own creation. Does that make sense?
Definitely. So cosmic sexuality for the people, because I seen that, it's like, oh yeah, I gotta get this
Yeah.
on. Like, yeah. Yeah. So explain that for the people, because that's definitely deep. I love that. I love to hear that.
Yes.
This is something important. Yeah.
So cosmic sexuality is the study of understanding the intertwined energy of masculine and feminine at their highest spiritual connection, merging as one. So we do this through sexuality. If you don't know by now, sex is a ritual, okay? Physical sex.
Yeah.
Non-intimate sex can be ritualistic too, but physical intercourse is a ritual, spiritual process that we have not really been taught properly, which was purposeful, so we can give our rituals away to the wrong energies, but I'm bringing it on back. So it is the action of understanding that the spirit is a part of sex and to be at your highest elevation so that you can have the highest union, so you can be one when you have sex.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, because looking back on past relationships, like, yeah, like you're supposed to give your energy to, people that you see like long term, and first of all, the right person. Like sometimes, like it's a misunderstanding who we should be with, and then who are just moment, people in the moment, like some month people, some year people, some day people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess how you feel we got to come back to that understanding on
Yes.
back, and then of course taps into relationships, of course. So
Absolutely.
mhm.
It's so intertwined.
Yeah, so past experiences, like, so I guess what led you into it and into the knowledge, like what was your journey like getting all the knowledge?
Ooh. So my main thing that really shot me even further into understanding the space of sexuality was having a child. Okay. As throughout the years of her existence, I started to realize that my partner that I chose during that time wasn't aligned, and it didn't feel real, like a real loving experience. It wasn't loving. So I had to go back to myself. What is it that you did that you missed when you created this child? And I'm learning I missed so damn much
Um,
because we were purposefully led away from understanding how sacred our wombs are, how sacred the penis is. And we were taught to just have fun out there. Have
that
fun. Go have fun.
on
Have fun. It's fun,
recess.
guys. Come
It's
do this.
recess.
Lose your virginity. Come on.
Exactly.
So I was just looking at myself in a way like, how did I create? How did I create such a beautiful little being with someone who I'm now learning he has a different kind of beauty. I believe that everyone has beauty in the world, but some people can be beautifully evil. You know what I mean?
Beauty and the
So
Beast. Yeah.
I'm just like, how? And I had to look at all the things I missed, why I missed them. What was I taught? What was I thinking about at the time? What didn't I know at the time about my womb, about myself? And the more I process this, because she's about to be 7 this year. So the more I'm processing this, because it doesn't stop processing, the more answers started to come to me. The more I was led to the sexuality, the more I was led to that. And then, not to toot my own horn, as I've started to also unpack these things, another realization was getting stronger and stronger is that I am a very powerful sexual energy. So when I have shared myself with people in the past lovers and lovers after my partner that I had a child with, I would get so many surprising compliments that I really didn't, because you don't really know how someone's experiencing you until they tell you.
Exactly.
So it's like I was starting to meet more honest partners of myself, honest reflections of myself, and they were honest with me about how I made them feel in the sexual space. So then I started to realize, he knew something that I didn't know
Mm.
about my sexual spirit. Okay. And as I've been, still evolving and falling in love and moving from love and understanding that my sexuality was always a big part of it, big part, big juicy part, right? I'm like, I had to understand what this is because I want the highest of the high. I want the highest of the high. I want to feel these rainbows and sunshines that I feel in the bedroom in my everyday life. And
Mm.
that has been the fuel because I'm like, you know how you have sex with someone and then when y'all not having sex, it's weird, The energy might be off or you might be tit-tatting for stupid shit,
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
I've been through
like,
that.
I know you have. We all have, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
just like, okay, what is it that I need to see in myself so I can learn how to create this beautiful environment that you say that I am? You say I'm a mate. You say I'm all these things. Well, how can I get that energy outside?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
I
it's just
definitely.
put me on a rabbit hole of understanding that this has always been a space of my comfort.
Oh yeah. Salute to the her rabbit hole podcast. We definitely had
Yeah.
conversations. Salute to them. Yeah, I found in my experience, Aquarius, me and Aquarius, and she had some Pisces. She was a good woman, but every time we, you know, outside that activity, it was like it was always back and forth just to lead back to that. Like, hey, why we can't have peace right here? Like,
Literally, like what we missing here?
very secretive. Like, hey, just tell me what's going on. It's like, all right, you ain't. All right. It's like, yeah,
And do
it
you
gets
know why
deep.
that is? What do you think
Elaborate.
do you know why that is?
Mm. I think I found out now, but nowadays, but nah. I guess elaborate.
Yeah, sure. So it's because we've been doing things backwards,
Exactly.
right? And what I mean by backwards is because the society has ingrained us the knowledge to know our sexuality is there, but then they tell us to hide it, right?
Mm.
So because they tell us to hide it and not talk about it, we started to like fetishize about it, right? In a way. So before we learn, they don't tell us to get to know people. They don't say that.
Yeah.
They don't really dive into making sure you know the partner. But everywhere we turn, they're selling sex. They're selling romanticizing relationships with man and woman. My daughter's
Hmm.
6. My daughter's 6. I noticed this with the things she watches and the shows that come across to her. They're already romanticizing, find a boyfriend, get a boyfriend, boyfriend system. Like, what the show? They're
Yeah,
10. Like, what is
programming,
wrong
man.
here?
It's
Like,
programming.
they're 10 years old.
And definitely,
So,
yeah, high school alone, middle school, it started in middle school. Like, yo, what's going on? We supposed
what
to
is
just
this? What
get
is
to
this,
know.
Smith?
And then to get to know is literally, to get to know that one interaction. And then,
And
they
then
don't,
you don't know them.
yeah,
So when the backwards energy is that since we are so busy romanticizing finding a connected relationship, naturally our cosmic energy is heightened, right? But we don't know it. We don't know that that's cosmic. Cosmic energy is energy that's already within you, whether you're having sex or not. So we can feel it, but we are teens and we're young. We don't know what to do with it. But everyone's telling us that this is something you do with it, right? So
exactly.
we go straight there first. So we're going to the most deepest ritual process that your body can have on earth with another human being
Yeah.
before we know who that human being is.
0 to
And
100 real
that's
quick.
what it is.
Yeah,
Real quick.
real
And
quick.
that's why, like you said, with the Pisces, whatever the Pisces or Aquarius woman or whatever, when it is outside of that, it's like weird because we went straight to the spiritual process without even understanding the spirit, tapping into the spirit, knowing the person's brain, knowing her well-being, knowing her history, knowing her traumas, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
But I say her because as a woman, it's vital for us to start really taking charge and understanding the space that we carry between our legs.
Exactly.
We have to. And so much damage has been done to us over generations between our legs. And because we're carrying traumas from our mother, mother, we then begin living that out in this life as lessons so that we can be the one to choose to fix it or choose to continue to ignore it so it can pass on to the next generation of girls and boys inevitably.
Yeah, it's definitely a pattern. And even with like I mentioned school, like, yeah, I see that pattern. Like, man, they having kids before they 25. Like, wow, this is like, yeah, wow. It's like,
It's now normalized, honestly.
exactly.
And it's like, what? You're still, honestly, I feel like at that age, it's like you're still like a cub. Like
Mm-hmm.
no one, like we have come from a generation where they're forcing us out of the house sometimes before we're 18. But let's just take 18 as a mark. 18, you're still a child. You're
Yeah,
still a child. I don't care what the age says. I don't care what the laws say. You're still a child. You're just a bigger child. Okay?
exactly.
You just left. You just left an education system where everyone told you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. How did you go from that to automatically you get to make all the decisions for yourself and create your entire world by yourself without anyone helping you? You have to do it on your own.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're a child that's being
Exactly.
forced. It's like you're being forced to fly before you're ready to fly. Yeah, that might work for birds, throwing them out the nest. They have a different instinct, but we're humans. So we have a more dynamic fix of our existence. And for people to just throw us out the nest, like we going to know what to do in this world that's super complex on purpose, especially if you're a person of color.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like and that's another pattern of the parents setting the children up to fail. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the world already going to give you failure. And I tell my daughter this, the world is already going to try to give you failures. I am going to do my best to make that process as smooth as possible for you because I'm not going to be someone that's adding to the world that's already going to give you failures. I'm going to teach you how the world going to give you failures and I'm going to teach you how to stride through them like a bird with the beautiful wings that are open.
Yeah.
But a lot of parents, we didn't get that. They
Oh
just
yeah.
threw us out to the wolves.
Speaking of
Figure that shit out.
speaking of parents, it was like a post I seen. It says, "What's the worst option or choice? Toxic mothers or absent fathers?" And I said both, but also,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is a both. It's definitely both. But yeah, like, cause my father, biological, Grandpa Kirksey, he wasn't there. He was a truck driver. He was busting moves.
Mm.
I'm saying he was, yeah. So Yeah, so he was raised by technically my step grandfather, which I had no knowledge of until like years ago. I was like, oh, the whole time Tater Bug wasn't Tater Bug. What Tater? He called me Skenta Penta and everything. but, but nah, yeah, just to find out like he wasn't. So he had to get adjusted to someone that really wasn't his biological father, and that's definitely deep.
Mhm.
And they didn't have a great relationship because he's kind of like an outsider, like. And
Yeah.
I hate when that situation happens. But what do you think is worse, like an absent father or a toxic mother? Because I think both is the right answer. But
I think that the right answer is, so as I conceptualize about this, because I see this question a lot,
mhm.
an absent father or a toxic mother, which one is worse? I believe the toxic mother. Okay.
So too.
Because an absent father, he's not there. Okay. It's not always easy for a child or a parent to get over the absentee of a existence, but that's something deeper in the spirit that you want that person to feel something in your life that you feel like you're not getting, typically because you have a present toxic mother. Okay.
Mhm.
If the mother that's present, and this is hypothetical because I don't believe all mothers that are present are intentionally toxic,
Yeah, my
but
mother
we
is
gotta address it. We gotta
opposite.
address it. If a present mother is super toxic and there's no parent that is with her and she's alone in that, the child begins to want to fill this void where they feel like that father will be able to fill a space the mother is not giving because she's so toxic. Okay. And it's not that she's doing this on purpose, because she is stressed the fuck out.
In
Okay.
pain, yeah,
She is in pain. She is enraged. She is angry in there. She is hurt. She got abandoned as a child. And now someone abandoned her when she, in her mind, needed that person the most, right? And that's what we're taught. We need this man to help us the most. However, I feel like the strength of women is growing for us to understand that the things we are going through with these absent parents, absent fathers, is because of the strength of who we are and the ability for us to be the village. But the power and the downfall in being the village by yourself is that often we get ridiculed for being a great mom and being a bad mom at the same damn time,
Mhm.
because we're trying to heal, we're trying to build up a child, we're trying to build up ourselves, we're trying to get over the fact that the parent ain't helping, we are resentful toward them. And when I say we, I mean conceptually as people, because I am
Mhm.
not this way.
Mhm.
And but I have healed through a lot of similar energies that allow me to realize I don't want to be that. I will not be that, because I'm by myself. I mean, God put me by myself for a damn reason. So I'm accept it, I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna be the woman that I need to be for my daughter and myself. But a lot of women aren't there yet. So the toxic mother gives off a powerful energy. Like I said earlier, we have to understand what's between our legs. The womb power is a spirit. It's
Oh yeah.
not just a vagina, it's a spirit. And the spirit of the mother is the most important spirit on the universe, which is why society has tricked our men to think that it's okay to just leave us so
Mhm.
that we can be alone, because they know if they hurt the mother, they hurt the world.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
They
we
hurt the
created that.
world. They
Yeah.
oppress the mother, they oppress the children. You oppress the mother, you oppress the school. You hurt the mother, you hurt everything that she touches and everything that she wants to build.
Yeah.
So I want to say that's more powerful. Yes, it is. Does that mean that mothers are the fault of it all? Absolutely not. But having that toxic mother or father, because some people have a toxic father present, but most of it is mothers because of the single mother syndrome that our era has been forced into.
It's normalized now. It's like
It is normalized. So as I look at the picture, the big picture, I'm like, okay, these men are hurt, these women are hurt. we are all trying to heal because we predominantly had toxic mother energy around. And it was so powerful, but so unloving that
Yeah.
it created a whole world of hurt people trying to figure this shit out. So
And
it is
then
powerful.
and then it touches on, because we always hear, mama's boy, daddy's girl, and that balance is definitely necessary, I feel, in most cases. But like,
And,
yeah.
and I feel like society has done a number, love, on how they paint the picture for us for mother and father. Mother and father, in my theories, were never supposed to be in the same house all the time together.
Yeah.
I believe that the accent part where people are missing their father is because society said you are supposed to have a dad living inside your house with your mother, helping her every single moment. That's a lie. Let me
Mm,
tell you why. The mother and father energy is a spirit, just like
mm,
the womb. What we're supposed to have is our uncles, our cousins, our granddads,
mm,
our brothers
mm.
stepping in to this energy to give love to the child too, to help support the mother in her
Village.
village,
Yeah.
to help support the mother as she becomes a mother. Protect that mother, protect her ideas, protect what she's building for this child. That goes into all of those positions I just named, not
Yes.
just dad.
Yeah.
Dad cannot do it alone, just like a
Family.
mother cannot.
Yeah, because I be having conversations a lot, some queens, and I realize like I have a lot of mentors, and it kind of comes off as bragging. It's like, man, I just got my mom. It's like, oh shoot. It's like I got a lot of mentors scattered, couple in the city, couple outside of the city, but I got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of mentors. It's kind of crazy. Do you feel like it's like you feel like it's a lot of mentors out there? I feel like definitely you're a mentor. You
Absolutely. And
that
I feel like what I've been learning over my life, and as I learn about the juxtaposition of mother and father and how those energies are everywhere. You I am a living, I'm a living example of the world can be your mentor because I did not have a close relationship with my mother or my father that was present. My father, who was not my biological father, but he's the father that was a part of my life since I was born. He was in my life and he passed away when I was 17. So that's the only father energy that I knew. But even when he was present, I didn't have that type of connection with him that they show and they romanticize in TV. I didn't have that with my mother either. As I got older, I started to stray away from my mother's care because she was toxic heavily. I didn't know that word at the time, obviously, but understanding now, she was very toxic toward us. And it was not just a thing that she just wanted to do, it was what was given to her. She was struggling. Even when she had a partner, it was still this struggle because she never really allowed him to fully be there because
mm,
of her fears of men with children and stuff. Crazy shit, right? You pick a
mm,
partner, and we still, as women, have fears, these deep fears, because so many girls get hurt by the men around them, right?
yeah.
So for me, early on, as soon as I was 18, 19, I was ready to leave the nest on my own because I couldn't handle the pressures that she was putting on my existence, that I didn't have my own free will because she was my mom and I was living in her house. She stated it over and over and over again. You don't get to do what you want to do because you live under my house, my rules. We heard
Yeah,
that. So
exactly.
I'm like, well, I don't want to live under your house and your rules. And as soon as the world tells me I'm an adult, I got to get the fuck out of here. So I did. And upon doing that, I was able to grow on my own, expand on my own, find God on my own, pay attention to all the people that God sent me on my own. And to this day, I still never had a human representation of a mother and father that took me under the wing or led me anywhere. I was observing I was observing the world through the lens this entire time of God. Didn't know at first, but I know now because it was so many different reflections of humans around me, because I was out the nest by myself. I was working by myself. I was in the workforce by myself. I didn't have that one-on-one connection with anybody that was dropping seeds into me in a way that we currently have, because we became the seed droppers now, because the world taught us a lot. I'm talking about our generation. That's why we have these podcasts. We're creating these spaces. We're leading people. We have big followings. People are following us, listening to us, guide them in a way their mother or father didn't do. So we're finding those mentors in all parts of the world. So I believe, yes, the world is full of mentors. If you open your mind to the idea that your mother and father are not the only ones that are supposed to provide guidance,
And
protection, and safety to you. They're not. They can't. It's not that they're not. They are incapable of giving you everything that the human experience is supposed to provide to you. They're incapable. Not on their own.
And that kind of ties into relationship. I think sometimes, and we could talk about if men, are supposed to be, mono versus poly, it's like, but yeah, that's the thing. We want a lot into our partner. Like we want her to be everything. And sometimes she's not going to be everything, and I think it's a high expectation. And on the other side, you want him to be everything.
And he's not.
I truly can't. I'm not Superman. I love the sun, but it's like,
that's a good point, love, because you said I'm not Superman. The thing is, we are superheroes, some of us, not everybody, right?
Everybody.
However, when you're a superhero, is it just one person that gets to experience your powers and you're saving them?
Exactly.
No, it's not. You're saving a whole motherfucking village, a whole city, a whole world. Sometimes you're saving the whole world. You telling me that someone has superpower energy and you're supposed to just be the only one person that gets access to it forever?
Like that's selfish. Like
that's crazy. That's selfish. Like what? You happen to meet a superhero and you really want that superhero to save no other soul except your soul? That's what they taught us, though. They knew what they were doing. We have to understand and learn what they were doing. And I want to get into it as well. Do you have any preliminary thoughts on what relationships going forward, what can they look like? What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like if it's a high understanding, a poly relationship can work. But we got into this programming of one woman, one man relationships, and sometimes they're not successful. I don't believe in divorce, and they end in divorce a lot of the times. It's a high divorce rate. But I think it's what's ever functional to the individual. It's all about understanding your partner. And some men they stray, some men don't. Some men because I feel like men, regardless, we can be very faithful to a relationship. I think men don't have commitment issues. Some do, but what you think? Do you think men have, like, who nowadays have commitment issues? I feel like it's like a toss.
Good one.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely men. Okay. Men are the leading, I believe men are leading in the idea of not having commitment issues. And when I say that, I'm going to break that down, as I do. To me, commitment is an idea that was given to us. Men, just like women, we want to commit. But men, just like women, are not going to commit to something that they don't agree with. So even if they're trying to live the society norm, even if they're trying to put on this facade for society, they're usually doing it for societal clout. Okay? Societal clout is a concept that I'm just randomly thinking of right now, which means to get the accolades and the praise of what society deems as successful. So men have been taught to follow the clout. Women, we don't follow the clout. We follow our hearts, our intuition. Men are taught to follow whatever is working in society. Otherwise, you will not be deemed or look successful, and you will look like a failure as a man, and a man cannot look like a failure, right? So I believe when men are getting into partnerships, they signed up for the person they choose when they marry. They choose someone that they don't mind living and building on the society's clout, even if they deeply don't agree with it. As the relationships transpire, they are not able to be honest with their partners or their self about what they truly want. And sometimes it's because the women don't allow for that honesty. I can't accept that.
Yeah, the truth
But
hurts.
oftentimes it's because the men in this society, they're not trained to be honest. Because they're following the clout, they're trained to mask and master the image of what success looks like. So they bring that into their partnerships, but then they're not able to commit fully to it, because then the mother, the woman, she has requirements of him and expectations of him based on the society's clout. When he gets in it with her, her intuition is not really for the bullshit, okay? So intuitionally, she's like, you trying to do all this for society, but in the house, we need this done. But his society clout sometimes doesn't allow for him to accept that the roles inside the house don't look like the role that society told him he's supposed to be living. So he can't commit to that. That's why in his subconscious, he goes out. He cheats so he can escape that idea. So when he cheats, he's being society clout over here with this other woman. He don't have to be daddy. He don't have to change diapers. He don't have to listen to what's going on with your womb. He don't have to try to eat healthy. You know what I mean? Over here, he can drink with the boys, have a drink, party, have a nice girl on his side that he can fuck around with when he's not with his woman, because he's trying to live both lives. Yeah. So men don't want to commit to the lies either. That's why I believe polyamorous conversations are becoming so big, not just because of men, but because women are realizing that they would rather truthfully share a man and get what they need as a mother and as a woman than try to live in the oppressions that society put on them too. To be this wife, this woman, that shit is dead. That shit is not. It's not. It's what it is not. You can try to keep it alive if you want
birds. Yeah.
Knock yourself out. You can try to keep it alive. Knock yourself out. It's gonna work for you until your soul comes back and realizes that ain't for you either. Then you're gonna be born into a polyamorous relationship. I'm talking about recreation of the souls at that point. But either way, they can't commit to it because deeply, deeply in their soul, they know it's not right, but they're afraid to speak up. And I believe that we are coming into an era where men and women are no longer afraid to say, you know what? I don't mind having a couple husbands. That sounds like it will work for me. I don't mind having a couple of wives or sister wives around. I like women. Why not? You know, and that is a conversation I feel that's going to lead and is leading to our future relationships.
Yeah, because you just mentioned like, you know, sister wives, you know, like, and the thing about society and programming is it's a competition. Like, I feel like it's like, yo, it's a competition. Like, yo, y'all supposed to be, you know, it's a sisterhood. Like, it's a brotherhood over here. Like, I'm cool with all the brothers. I don't have no disagreements. Well, I have, you know, sometimes, you know, but yeah, I had an incident where like this brother was talking subliminals. Like, hey man, we're not rappers, man. What are we doing, brother? Like, this is subliminals. You just say what you feel, brother.
Say it, right? What are you trying to say, John?
Exactly. Yeah. It's definitely important to, you know what you want, and and then you kind of answer my question. I feel like men, you know, can't tell the truth, or like they're scared to, you know. So men naturally lie. Like, hey, it's like I lie because I love you. You know what I'm saying, Jody?
Because
you know,
the clout, you gotta lie for the clout.
Oh yeah, it's deep. I guess man. So I guess how can we make those steps into being honest with our partners, and it's definitely got to be reprogramming done. Yeah.
So I believe that the honesty of, and this is one of the things that I've been strongly able to realize as I've come into becoming a cosmic sexuality doula, is that we're not honest about our sexuality.
Mm.
Nobody is.
Oof.
Nobody's honest about their
My ex
sexuality.
wasn't.
Nobody is. So it could be the smallest thing. It could be the smallest thing. When you are even in the sexual experience with someone, say for instance, they start rubbing your neck. They like it. And because you're in the moment, you don't say nothing. But you
Yeah,
don't really like it. So in your mind, you're like, okay, I don't really like that, but I'm gonna just go with the flow because I don't want to make this awkward.
exactly.
Those small thoughts right there, they grow bigger.
Oh yeah,
And then if those small things consistently keep happening, then what? Now you're living a lie.
exactly.
So I believe the
It's like,
core is to really start to be honest in ourselves as sexual beings. Because I feel like we've been spending a lot of time actually having the sex, but not actually being the sex. And what
mm,
I mean by that is we aren't really becoming the energy that we truly feel we want to live out. If you truly want to connect with another woman as a woman, you should explore that or figure out what it is that wants to explore that. If you want to connect with a man, you should disregard what society is saying and explore that. One thing I find that's very commendable and I believe honorable when I meet men, because I've met all types of men, when I have met men that are living a life where they predominantly have chosen to experience love and sexuality with women who have told me that they have tried it with a man before and they didn't like it. I believe if we were able to actually explore our truth without the guise of what society says is truthful for us, then
yeah,
we would be able to be more honest with our partners in other ways. We cannot have, well, we will not have loving and healthy relationships if we cannot be honest with our partners that we're choosing about
right.
how we feel in our sexuality.
On
Even if
point.
you say, I did try it with a dude and that shit was not for me.
Exactly.
So that's not my thing.
Yeah, whatever's
That to me,
natural.
that's more honorable than a man saying, nah, fuck that shit there, that shit, you know what I mean? Like just
Yeah,
going off on it
yeah,
just
yeah.
because society said that's wrong. No, that's your sexuality.
Programming. Yeah,
Figure it out.
it's definitely programming. Like, yeah, it's like it's programming. Men don't want to cry. It's like I had my
Same
father.
thing.
He was a strong masculine man. Like my stepfather, he was a strong masculine man. And every time like in church, like yo, he's breaking down and it's like yo, you crying? It's like it's
Yeah, I'm
programming.
crying.
Like yeah, it's like that's a release. Like that's healing. That's a release. And
Absolutely.
like you said, it should be natural. Like some rapper just got exposed. From doing some things. It was a video that leaked. It's like because he was hiding his sexuality. It's like something
Mhm.
obviously like yo, and it's a shame thing. Like you shouldn't be shamed. Like, and I don't judge him. Hey brother, do your thing. I'm always been, hey brother, do your thing. Hey man.
Men are definitely afraid of what society is going to say about them. But
Yeah.
that men got to, that's another thing. They got to heal. They got to get over the fear of caring about what society is saying is appropriate. And
Exactly.
men is a different kind of hold on the men because men are told they're the leaders. And if I am not leading properly and I'm not being the societal clout chaser and I'm not showing society that I can be this stand-up man that's macho, you're silly. You're not. Because
Yeah.
then you're ignoring your feminine side, which allows you to explore yourself, which allows you to be creative with your sexuality,
Yeah.
which allows you to feel those tears and let them flow. That's your feminine side.
Yeah, yeah, Some men are scared to be vulnerable, and society programs not to be. But yeah, it's crazy how that goes, and like you know, yeah, it's crazy. It was a show I was watching called Harlem, and like the first episode, like Megan Good and some dude they was about to get it on. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing he did was like lift his legs up. It's like, hey, it's like, oh, it's like, yo,
Wait a
that,
minute.
that brother was natural. It
Right,
came natural for him. Hey, lift
right,
his legs up like he was about to go down the slide or something, like something
right.
crazy. It's like, okay, but yeah,
Whee!
it's that's but what they say, you know, different strokes for different folks, you know.
Absolutely. That's a good one. Different strokes for different folks. Let them stroke that way. If you don't like it, leave them alone.
Yeah,
And
man.
leave people alone.
Yeah, I feel like that, and then that ties into living in a lie, you know. You're like living in a lie. It's like, yo, what's natural to you? Like, forget society. What's natural to you? It's like, if you exactly, like, it's ridiculous. And I guess why do we do it? I feel like we touched on why did we do that. So how do we get back to just living our truths completely? Like this society ain't, you know,
Great. So
Western.
I
Mhm.
believe, my bad. I believe it comes from getting to the root.
Yeah,
In order for us to understand how to even walk in our truth, we have to understand why we're not. Why are we not walking in it? So for me, I believe everything comes from the root. Where did it start? And I'm gonna bring my daughter up often because I'm constantly having conversations with my daughter about certain things. We're not talking about sex, but we're talking about different ideas about how fear gets into you, how to be truthful, and how to release fear. And I've realized the things that I teach my daughter and how I relay that to my 6-year-old is a simple method of how to get to this to adults. So go to the root, okay? The root could be when you were young. Your father might have said to you, this is how you're supposed to act as a man, right? Then once your father said it, then you heard society say it. We look up to our dads. If the dad is around, we look up to him as a man, right? As a man, you look up to your dad. You want to be like him. You want to listen to him. He clearly knows more than you. He's here. He has you. He's your leader, right? So if your root cause was your dad saying something about gay men or something like that, he's telling you, don't you ever do that or I would disown you. I've learned that a lot of men parents, especially around their sexuality, they're threatening their little ass child on not to be free, not even think about that, or
exactly,
I will take my love away from you, or I will kill you.
exactly.
They're saying these words out of their mouth to a child, sometimes as early as 3 years old, from what I understand from the many men that I have discussed these things with. So if you, as a woman or man, can kind of walk yourself back to where this thought started, where someone told you it wasn't okay. When you get to the root of who told you it wasn't okay, then you get to the understanding of why I fear it, because the fear started at that root, and then the fear started growing and growing and growing. Now it's not just my dad is going to disown me. This woman says she's not going to love me no more either. Or my aunt, who I really look up to, she don't agree with it either. So she said that she do not F with, dudes that are that way, and she would never ever, So now I'm conceptualizing more fear that
Mm-hmm.
started from the root conversation that started when I was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now other people in society are confirming that this is something I cannot be.
Exactly.
So now I'm afraid. I have these thoughts, I have these feelings, but I can't tell nobody about it because the society already told me that I will be rejected,
Mm-hmm.
disrespected, or killed for this.
Exactly.
So when you get to those two, those are the big ones. The root that caused the fear. Then you get to decide how and why should I release this fear? Do I agree with them? Because a lot of the fears and a lot of things people gave us, we started to agree with them ourselves, even though we did not feel right about it.
Yeah.
So now to release it, you have to ask yourself, do I agree with this? Is this something that I believe in? Do I believe it's okay to treat people like that feel this way? And when your answers start to be no, I don't agree with this. No, I don't want to live like this. Then you can begin to release that, because
Yeah.
then you say that no longer belongs to me. Someone gave me that before I even had a chance to understand what sexuality even was. Before
Exactly.
I got a chance to understand what I wanted or what I didn't want. They told me who I was supposed to be. So I believe the way to really get into it is the root. Go to the root. Start there.
Exactly.
Unpack it. Why am I afraid? And then decide if you want to release that fear or if you want to continue to live in it.
Yeah. And like my professor, a professor of mine, sociology, or psychology, he's because he had a son. He's like, so he made him choose for himself. He had a football and then he had a soccer for him, and he let him naturally choose. That's what it's all about, and it's all about not forcing things and like programming. You got shows programming kids and all that, so it's not natural. It's forced. You know what I'm saying? And it's this one show as well. This brother, he's bisexual, and but he loves women and he's in a relationship with a woman, but he decides to dress, he wears dresses, like it throws her off. You know what I'm saying? It's something to think about.
Is that Grownish?
Yeah, Grownish. You watch that show too?
Yeah, I love Grownish actually. I watch a lot of different shows for introspection. If it piques my interest to understand how they dialogue around different human interactions or spirituality, I love it because it gives me more insight into understanding the different generations and how they're dealing with it, and just allow me to understand the conversations that need to be had, and be happy that they're having them on these platforms. But yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, it definitely yeah, sometimes I think it's a thing called good programming, putting good energy out there. That's edutainment. That's what I call it, edutainment. So yeah, we definitely got to dive back into that. But yeah, I definitely love what you're doing on TikTok. Just have to shout that out. So yeah.
Thank you.
Love your energy on TikTok. And yeah, it's just necessary
It's
to
fun.
not force things. Yeah, because I think I was forced to go to church. Like I got baptized around second grade, and all of a sudden, like, yo, there's flaws in this Bible that you didn't know about, Pops.
So many.
It's like, Pops, you
and,
don't. Yeah.
and that's a good point too, love, because the cosmic sexuality. So let me go to cosmic right quick. Cosmic is the energy that is a part of your creativity, your creation, your being born on this playing field. You can call it chi, your spirit, your soul, whatever, right? It's cosmic. That's another word to describe that. So, and really describing that, like you said, from the beginning, a lot of us were forced into using our cosmic energy in a way we did not consent to, starting with church, because the cosmic energy is an energy that is in church too. Mm-hmm. And we have been able to understand that this doesn't work for me. But a lot of people are still not understanding why it's not working for me. Why do I feel this way about church? Why did church put such a big hole in a space that I want to fill with another spiritual energy? Because it's like, and this is the big one, this is a concept I call spiritual rape. Okay, we talk about molestation and assault and verbal assault and physical assault all the time, but what we're not really talking about on a higher level is spiritual assault, spiritual molestation, spiritual rape. When spiritual rape to me is a concept where someone steals something from your soul experience without you consenting, or someone providing something to your soul that you did not consent to, and you having to live that because they told you to. Your soul is the most important thing on earth, but they don't tell us that. So from the beginning, when they're baptizing children and children are getting baptized before they are even acknowledged or know who they are or what they want to do with their soul, that's spiritual molestation. That's spiritual rape to me.
Yeah.
You don't have to accept that, but I believe that children often are getting violated at young ages as well, in connection to their churches, because they already violated their spirit. They told their spirit, you don't get a say, you're not in control, and I have power over you. What do abusers say to children? You don't get a say, I have power over you, and I will do to you what I want with your spirit and your body. They go together.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, it's definitely yeah. It's
It gets deep out here in these waters. You know, I'm
yeah.
naturally my moon sign is a Cancer, and I'm sorry, my sun sign. My sun sign is a Cancer, and that's the sign that I've been living by throughout my life before I was aware of all the astral world within me. But I am water, and water is deep, and the water of this world is deep. The water within us is deep. And sometimes we gotta get to that. We gotta go swim down there to the bottom of the ocean and figure out who
Yeah.
left this junk at the bottom of your ocean. Get that shit out. Get that because they pollute in our ocean. They pollute in our ocean. I am water in a natural state, but everyone is. They said what the body is 75, 77% water. So we're all water. We got to get
Exactly.
to the bottom of our ocean and get the pollution out.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, guess what we got to learn how to do? Swim.
Swim.
Got to learn
Yeah.
how to swim.
And yeah, I think and then with communications and just understanding each other, that definitely sometimes you need to I realize sometimes when I understand someone, I don't even need to like communicate too much. Like I got a friend that's a Gemini. When I communicate to him, I'll communicate to him. That's just how it goes with Geminis. You know, they come to you and then they leave and I see them when they see them. You know, that's the thing. Like we just gotta find that, find that groove and get back, tap back into that knowledge and flow of things. Yeah.
And I'll just say this too. How I believe relationships will and can look in the future are full of harmony, balance, truthful and open communication, joy. A lot of people might not accept that, but those aren't the people I'm talking to. If you believe that the world and your relationships should be full of supportive people, people that got your back, people that are honest with you, people that trust and respect your sexuality no matter what you choose to do. I believe our relationships in the future will look like that. But in order for us to get there, if you are in a relationship right now with someone, you have to start being honest with them. If you're learning that you cannot be honest with that person, no matter how hard you try, then they are not the one for you.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And if they are not the one for you, they are blocking you from the one that is for you, who will have your back. And if you believe that you should have someone to support you in all that you do, then you should have that. If the person does not believe in you or support you, they are not for you. No matter how much you try to make them, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you see something, it's like, yeah, nah, it's like just hold back, keep holding back. It's like, man, he or she shouldn't really be wearing sandals like that. He got bunions. It's like, I can't tell him. It's like, you gotta tell him.
Shoes, man. Man, I'm telling you. And you can even start testing this out yourself. You can start testing it out. The more truthful you can be with yourself, it allows you to understand how to deliver the smallest truths to someone. Like someone asks you something, you like this hat? And you like,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, it's all right. It's nice. You're a liar. Like, don't do that. Like, start with those small truths. I mean, if you like it, I love it, but I think it looks too bulky or it kind of makes your head look big.
Exactly.
I wouldn't wear it if I was you, but do what you want.
Yeah, truth
You
over
told the
feelings.
truth,
Yeah, truth
right?
over feelings. Like
Absolutely. I like that. I like
feelings,
that.
like I might call it truth over feelings this episode. Yeah.
And I tell my daughter that too. Like, she's like, I didn't tell you the truth. I was afraid to tell you the truth because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I said, come on, please stop thinking that you should care about my feelings. Like, I would rather you tell me the truth any day than to think about whether your truth is going to hurt me. I said, I'm going to handle it. I want you to tell me the truth. I tell my daughter, I said, I've been living a long life now compared to you. And I have realized that I would much rather have someone tell me the honest truth than to try to lie to me because they think that that's going to make me happy. No, that's not going to make me happy.
That's why I can't wait to have children, because like the first book I'm gonna read to them is gonna be the 4 agreements, and one of them,
yeah,
don't take things personally. Like, I don't take anything personally. Somebody yelling at
I
me,
read it to my daughter too.
he's stressed out. Oh, this brother's stressed out. He going through something I don't know. Hey man, like
That's it. You don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what I told her about. I'm like, you can't take that personally. I said, if you decide that you want to consistently try to hold in your own truth because you're going to hurt someone's feelings, you're going to hurt your own feelings.
Yeah.
You're going to be hurt. You're going to be sad. You're going to feel like bottled up. It's going to be you that you're hurting if you don't tell someone how you truly feel because you think that your truth is going to hurt them. So what? Release it. You don't have to be mean, but get your truth out there because it doesn't matter if it hurts. It has to be said. And if they do get hurt or offended or angry, your truth is going to allow you to see who they are and if they are even capable of handling your truth. And if they're not, like I was just saying, if a person can't handle your truth and you've already tried to be truthful with them and they're not supportive, they're still being difficult, they're still being resistant, they're still not letting you be who you are, they're not accepting you, they're not for you.
Oh yeah, and then when the truth,
and that's the truth. That's the truth from me to you, whoever's watching this.
Yeah, like when the truth become lies to them, like, yeah, it's the truth. Like, nah, you lying. It's like, what? Like, what?
And
what
that's a whole different thing. It's like, what do you mean? I'm not like, all I have is my truth, and you don't even want to accept that. You don't want to accept my truth, and you want to lie. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
what
it goes back to that I think Jasmine Sullivan song, "Pick Up Your Feelings." You better pick up your feelings.
Yeah. And what you gonna do with them when you pick them up?
Exactly. It's like to the left, like
yes, please, because it's real out here, and I feel like we're all consciously and subconsciously, high key, just tired of the lies. And if you are tired of the lies, you have to be the truth. No one's gonna feed you truth until you start feeding you truth and eating that shit by yourself. You ever cook a meal and you're not that great at it? Right? You might not be that great at it, and you trying to feed it to someone else, and you haven't even tasted it yet. You better eat that food.
Oh yeah, that's why you taste it. You taste it.
You better eat your food, right? But it still might not be that good, right?
Just like, oh damn.
And listen, you eat the food, and you're like, but
we get pizza tonight.
You still serve it to the other person, right?
Yeah, we get pizza
and now
tonight.
You're expecting that person to be like, I love this, because in your mind you're like, I don't love this.
Yeah, it's like, how does she love this? It's like,
and that's, I feel like that's the concept too, to connect with truth. Like, you have to be okay with accepting that the food that you just made ain't that tasty, and might have to be the one to say it first so that other person can know that you're an honest person. Food is a very strong, and that's a whole nother conversation we can have, how food and sex go together. They're best friends.
Definitely.
So food is another way to really test truth out as well. Be honest with yourself. Like, because for me, I'll be eating something, I'm like, this is kind of salty. I didn't mean to make it this salty. I don't really like that. I made the food. Someone else in the room, yeah, I didn't want to say nothing.
Yeah.
They weren't going to say anything.
Say nothing.
They weren't going to. Did you know you heard that before? Yeah, I wasn't going to say nothing, but
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Why weren't they going to say anything? Because they weren't thinking that you were going to be honest, and they thinking about hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
But if you are the one that hurts your feelings first, but my feelings not hurt, I'm being truthful, this shit's salty, I don't like it. And you say it out loud, then they like, okay, she's being honest, let me be honest with her. Yeah. That's how it goes. That's how the relationships go. That's how being honest with the person go. It's just like that food you're sharing. You cook that food is nasty. Speak up about that. That's you speaking up about yourself. Like, I don't cook that well sometimes. And they're like, I agree. Now you know that there's moments that they didn't say nothing. But the more you speak up about your truth, the more truth will start to exchange like this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Oh man. I'm definitely thankful that this conversation happened. It's so necessary. Like people gotta understand it's like it's some things that was never taught. It's like, and then eventually they get lost, but yeah, we got to get back definitely. Shoot, any other gems any other gems you want to give to the people?
The gem is you. The gem I would like to give is that you are the truth. And if you are unwilling to accept the parts of yourself that you buried away, because you thought that people would like you more if you buried those parts, then you will be burying yourself into the biggest grave on this earth until the day you actually die. The
Mm.
truth is you.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Cause yeah, some people, you know, they live their life living a lie and they just die. You know, they dying that. It's crazy. Yeah,
Mhm.
man. Yeah, it's definitely necessary to understand and do whatever come natural to you. Like don't go against forget what society say, forget what people say. That's why these most of these influencers, they influence because they inspiring people to live in their truth. I've been hearing truth been trending for years now. Truth, hey, living your
Mhm.
truth, hey, what's the truth, hey? so, so yeah,
Yep.
it's necessary. Definitely
Absolutely.
for the people where they can find you, definitely shout out to your TikTok
Absolutely.
once again. Love your TikTok.
Absolutely. But yes, once again, my name is Camelia Janelle. I am a world changer, one truth at a time, one world at a time. I decided I'm changing the world and I started with mine. You can find me everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok that is really popping. And Facebook at Camelia Janelle. At Camelia Janelle. Very simple, just like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And
And
yeah,
that's me.
yeah. Definitely appreciate you. It's positive energy, activates
Thank
constant
you.
elevation. Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's vibe equals tribe. Part of the tribe, and we just gotta find that tribe because I've been searching for years. I realized like, oh, this is the type of people I should freak with. Frequency.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And for the people, the people don't understand like the 13th. Like since 1993 is Black Love Day, and I've been trying. It ain't gonna happen, but some people gonna celebrate it. But it's Black Love Day, and I break down Black and love, building leadership and community knowledge, and then love, life's only valid expression. We got to get back to both, and I think definitely you're a pillar in that. You already been doing that for some years now.
Yeah,
Definitely got to keep on going, and definitely appreciate everything that you're doing.
absolutely. Thank you so much. And I give much gratitude for you giving that space to me to speak and have this dialogue with you. As the people definitely will see more of me. Again, I am Camelia Janelle. I am is not a part of my social name. At Camelia Janelle, only find me, connect with me, indulge, and enjoy. I know that I give off a good energy, and I want everyone that is a part of that to understand that I am here for you as I am here for myself.
Yeah, definitely. Family has been conscious of crazy, kind of science with knowledge. Or am I crazy? We ain't crazy. We with knowledge.
Ain't crazy.
Appreciate your family. Peace.
Peace, love.